So here's the bag within a bag that you will get a kit for your message center. We'll unbag it for you. Inside the bigger bag, or the outside bag, is an inside that contains some small pieces. The remaining bag has the larger wooden items. This is the message center base. The base. And these are two side walls. So in the future, when we talk about sides, those are the sides. They're pre-drilled, and if you can see that the drill holes will be on the top when you attach it. There will be also inside that outside bag a dowel, which needs to be on our screen. The dowel is a cylinder of wood that holds a wooden cap on the end so that it's secure. There's a hole drilled in that little cube of wood, and if it's showing on the video, we can actually see it. Afterwards, there's also another piece of wood that's longer, and it's about 3 inches long. That's the pencil holder, and you'll glue that to one of the side walls later. And remaining in the bag is the last piece that goes to your wood project, the paper spool, which we'll be showing you later. That will fit on the dowel and allow you to dispense the paper roll smoothly in the item. Here we go. The small bag folded up inside the outside bag has smaller pieces. We want to show you what's inside. There is a metal band with holes drilled into each end. That'll be important for holding down the paper. And if I can zoom up, those are 2 screws to hold the metal band in place on the wood base. And there are also, if you can see right in the middle of the screen, 4 finishing nails. There we go, 4 finishing nails. Those will hold the base to the side walls, or the side walls to the base of your project. Also included are 3 different grits of sandpaper. It's really important that you start off with the coarse grit, which is more orange in color. If it says 120, you'll start with the rough sandpaper first. It's more orange. Then you'll move to the next medium grade, which is a brown tone, and then you'll finish sanding everything with the pale cream color or white color sandpaper, which is the 400 grit. That'll be your finishing. Okay, this is a finished sample of a message center from the side view. Notice that the 2 side walls are nailed and glued to the base. There's also a metal band that has to be bent on both ends and attached with screws. So if you see that, there's also a pencil holder that will be glued to the side wall, either the left or the right side of your choice, and a pin, a dowel pin with a wooden cap. That needs to be assembled very early in the project to guide you on attaching these side walls. So we'll start with the dowel cap and pin. Simple start, dowel pin and cap assembly. Find your glue. The cap has already been pre-drilled to fit the dowel snugly. Carefully apply a few drops of glue in and allow that to dry. And we will work on lining up our side walls to the base. Okay, the dowel pin assembly is really important for aligning the 2 side walls together, especially when they are attached to the base. Right now we will show you the process of gluing and attaching with nails the sidewalls to your base. Now you can see we have 4 nails. You want to make your adjustments so that they're not crooked. You want to straighten them out before you commit to hammering them through all the way, just like that. So this is a good place to be. Take it, you just want to initiate each nail into the wood before you tap it through. This idea, because your goal here is to hammer the nails so that they're poking through just a little bit to form little spikes. It will help you later on attach the sidewalls. As you can see here, we've hammered the nails through the sidewall so that they have little points sticking through. Those will be little attachments, places for you to use as we anchor them to the base. The next step is going to be applying a small amount of glue to the base and attach these sidewalls with your hammer. Using one of the sidewalls upside down as a base, these are the nail heads sticking up, and that'll support the base where the notch is. Apply a small amount of glue to the cutout of your base. Now we're ready to attach. Decide which side of your base is going to be showing up and which is going to be the bottom. The pre-hammering of your nails is crucial here to simplify that process. So now you're halfway there. You have a stable sidewall on the other side. Just flip it over and repeat the process. Let's get a view here. We've got both sidewalls in. We've got a top and a bottom. If there's any excess glue that's sticking out, this is a good time to wipe things down before they dry. And just kind of check the alignment now with the pin and your dowel here. Make sure everything's still aligned, because if there's a change to make, this is the time for it. Okay, looking pretty good. At any point you're feeling like you want to sand something, this is the good time to do it. You'll want to be sanding with the grain, so these lines of the wood. The best technique is to sand parallel with those things, and the side walls are going to have grain running up and down, so you're going to have to change direction of sanding. Again, always sanding with the coarse grain first, the coarse grain of your sandpaper first, and moving to middle and fine. The main areas to focus on, just feel around. Your fingers will tell you where to sand. The edges that have been cut in the shop will be the edges to focus on. The end grain of the wood all around the edges. Wherever there's a corner, you can bevel that off. Especially pay attention to the end cap here. It's pretty roughly cut. And now we're ready to move on to the final assembly part, which is the metal band. Stay tuned. As you're working your way down from the coarse to the medium and to the fine, some of the things that you want to look for where the junction between two things meet. These little seams, the edges, if you could bevel them or round them instead of having them square and kind of harsh, those are areas that I focus on. The end grain here is an area of focus. You just want to go all the way around and hit all the surfaces at least once with a couple different grains of wood. If you really lay into this nicely. You can get bevels, rounded corners on things. Just depends on your level of commitment to the project. So the end of this little cap can be shaped nicely with different sandpaper techniques. If you just lay it down on a tabletop, you can actually sand it and round it off to whatever shape you want. And just make sure that that's looking the way you want it. Two screws that are included in your kit. Hopefully you have a Phillips head screwdriver nearby, and we're just going to tip this on end and assemble the metal. We are in the home stretch. There is a pencil holder ready to be glued. You get to pick which side, lefty or righty. It doesn't really matter, but you want to put an angle upwards so your pencil isn't falling out. So we're going to pick the right side here and apply a small amount of glue. We don't want a big mess to clean up, so a small amount of glue is all that's needed. Press lightly. We're letting gravity do the work. If you have a clamp at home, you can use that, or a piece of tape, something like that, or even a light weight. If you want, you can just put something on it to hold it flat. That would work too. So if you just have something of a small amount of weight to hold it down and give it some pressure, that would be enough to have it hold for the 20-30 minutes needed for it to bond up, set nicely. Okay, depending of course on the glue and your temperature. After you've given your message center a little chance to glue where the pencil holder is attached to the side wall, you're ready to finish by installing a paper roll. There we go. You'll have to take the edge off, it's glued down. You've done that ahead of time. Install the pin whichever direction you prefer. If you have wood stain at home or some poster paint, something like that, it would be fun to decorate your project with some nice artwork on the side. So here we have a completed message center ready for action. Pick your favorite pen or pencil, pop it in there, and give it as a gift or use it for future use.